Anyone who knows me knows I love the Fast and Furious franchise, and yet I had no clue what I was about to get myself into by watching this film. Folks, let's jump into my review of the new film, Lift. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new film Lift, which is coming to Netflix January 12th. So I got a chance to check this film out, and I was excited because take a look at the cast. First, it stars Kevin Hart. So I'm like, yeah, I like Kevin Hart. I like him, whether it's in the movies, stand out, whatever it may be. Then you start to dig a little deeper there, and you say, oh, Vincent D'Onofrio, one of the best actors out there. Gugu Mbatha-Raw, yes, love her. Jacob Batalon, absolutely. And the list goes on and on. I mean, even Sam Worthington, I'm just like, wait, Sam is in this too? I was thinking to this point, like, who isn't in this film? But nonetheless, the cast is stacked. And then I started to watch the film. And even by the synopsis, because I'm just going to read this really quick. An international heist crew led by Cyrus Whitaker, who's played by Kevin Hart, races to lift $5 million in gold from a passenger plane at 40,000 feet. Okay, that seems interesting. I love a good action film. I love a good film involving a heist. But I had no clue that this film was going to wreak the DNA of the Fast and Furious franchise. Granted, if I didn't know any better, this would literally be a spinoff. Much like how Tokyo Drift was a spinoff during the car era of the Fast and Furious franchise, and then they sort of moved into this heist era of things. This is that. Minus the cars, minus the word family being thrown around, minus the Coronas, minus Vin Diesel. Everybody else is a composite of another character in the Fast family. And if I had to compare Kevin Hart's character to Cyrus, to somebody, I would say like a toned down Brian, I guess, because he's the leader and eventually he gets the girl. I mean, yeah, so predictable on that note. In all fairness to Kevin Hart too, he's not taking a comedic role here. He is very serious, a little bit of a charmer, but he's the master strategist. So I'm always going to applaud Kevin Hart from not taking stereotypical roles of just being, you know, the laughing, the comic release or the laughing stock of the film, or just the comedian roles, those stereotypical type of roles that most comedians got. So seeing him in just a true acting capacity is definitely a win, and certainly should set your expectations for different things that he takes going forward. But yeah, the film is completely corny, but it's cool. I mean, even when they do all the name drops, the title drops within the film, it's kind of like, aha, I see what you're doing there. But it's also very corny, but cool. And then, yes, the word lift. In case you don't know what the word lift means, because I didn't until I started watching the film. You know how, like, people talk about stealing cars and they say, like, boosting them? Fast and Furious. Learned that there. Lifting is a way of, I guess, not self-incriminating yourself about, well, stealing things from others. You are taking possession of it, so you're lifting it away from them, because they are real art lovers and they are here to rescue the works of art from undeserving owners. So they lift it from them. But also with that terminology, they also do just use it very standard. Like, hey, you need a lift? So, yep, the word lift is thrown around a very lot. Much like in Fast and Furious, how the word family is thrown around a lot. And then there's so many cliche things attached to this. Like Vincent D'Onofrio's character, he definitely is walking around. He plays the character Denton, who's like the master of disguise. He definitely walks around with a cane pretty early in the film. So I'm like, okay, Kingpin, I see you. And then also this film, in the beginning part of the film, takes place in Europe, much like when Jacob Batalon was in Europe with Spider-Man. So he's back on his field trip back there. Cool. Nonetheless, I'm gonna stop digging at it on that note. The film also revolves around NFTs pretty early in this film, and I was like, okay, that's pretty outdated. Like, to have such a value in stock in NFTs, which to me, I guess is like a dying thing that lasted, that, you know, it came and it went. So the fact that the beginning of this film was kind of dealing with NFTs, I was almost disengaged entirely, because I was like, I don't think anybody cares about NFT, nor do anybody see like a high value into it. But they kind of came around with that story element, I think, in a way that started to make sense towards the end. But again, the film does not take itself serious. It's entirely corny, but cool. If you do love the Fast and Furious franchise, I mean, yeah, this is right up your alley for sure. You know what you're getting, and they don't test the theory of physics as much as Fast and Furious do. But you know, they try a couple of things or two. And while I say there is no cars, there is nice cars in the film. They're just not racing them, and they're not making it about cars. They don't have to jump in a car for no apparent reason in order to rescue something. So you don't have to worry about that. And actually, if you do love, like, another comparison, like if you like Gerard Butler, then I think if you like the type of films that he does, I think this sorts of follow that same suit and identity as well. But with that being said, to kind of give a little bit more substance to the plot, while, you know, Cyrus and his group are folks that, again, they lift artwork from folks, they are considered valuable by how they handle their heist. And now Interpol is needing a team of folks with a special level of expertise in stealing things to help them steal something from an international terrorist group to prevent a world war. You know, like how the Fast family gets hired by, you know, the special feds and other agencies to do their work. You get what I'm getting at here, right? So yeah, there's that again. So yeah, Interpol hires them to commit a heist, aka a lift, because they can't do it. You're also throwing a little love story in there as well, and there you have it, the movie Lift. But nonetheless, and also, can we talk about them cracking a safe at 30,000 feet in the air, and a fight scene on the plane that's doing barrel rolls and all that? You're getting all of that, yeah, and yeah. There's that. The characters and their motivations and everything all follows the same suit. The stereotypical character composites, they all have that. It's all in this film. I can't stress enough that the film doesn't take itself serious, and it's a lot of fun, but damn if it ain't really trying to not reinvent the wheel by any means necessary. I don't feel like this film presented anything particularly new. Maybe the NFT stuff, but I don't think this film kind of created anything new in terms of this genre of theater. So, you know, what I'm saying and what you can expect, you're not getting anything more, nothing less. When you talk about the corny dialogue, I mean, there's a statement where they say balls are hard, and I literally cringe so hard because of how it's used, how it's brought up, and then how it's used. You can't make this stuff up, man. There's got to be a word worse than corny or better than corny, because they have exceeded worse levels than corny here. And then the two last comparisons I have is the CGI. Folks, you know, when my man Dom hits the NOS button and you see the discharge from the bottle goes in, and then it goes into the engine, goes through the wire and it goes into the engine, and it makes that combustion because the NOS is hitting the manifold, and it's, you know, you're getting that extra juice. You're probably wondering, why am I bringing this up? There's a scene in this film where somebody discharged a gun, and it gives you the CGI that goes into the gun that shows you when you click the trigger and the canister changes and the combustion from the bullet firing. I'm trying to tell you. I just don't get it. And even the score, and I have a lot of respect for Brian Tyler and Lucas Vidal, who has composed multiple films in the Fast and Furious franchise. I love the scores of those. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that the score of this film feels very much inspired by them too, to the point that I was very confident that I was going to see Brian's name or Lucas's name listed in the credits. But, you know, there is that. But nonetheless, listen, this film comes out on Netflix January 12th. It is absolutely a watch. It is fun. It is a popcorn film. If you love the comparisons I made, or if you just love the Fast and Furious franchise, if you, as I mentioned, if you are a fan of Gerard Butler's and his type of films, you know, this is that. Expect nothing more, nothing less. It doesn't take itself serious. It is fun. It is a plot that has so many unbelievable elements to it. You know, even some of the twists and turns that are just clearly predictable from the very beginning. You know, you're going to get that. And trust me, you will. Once you see when the plan get laid out and everybody got their different roles and responsibilities, you're going to be like, I already know what's going to happen here. And then you won't be wrong unless you just somehow wasn't paying attention, and even then you probably going to get it right. So it sounds like I'm kind of talking bad about this film, but in fact I liked it because these are the type of films I like. I just did not know that I was getting ready to experience a film that clearly has so much inspiration from the Fast and Furious franchise that I should have had some level of warning or indication way in advance that this was coming, so I could have been prepared, had my mindset ready that I was getting ready to get that. But now that I got it, I'm not mad at it. But yeah, folks, check out Lift. Jump in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about this one when you do. And as always, stick around for more reviews very soon.